Hi, welcome back to Facing Mortality. Today's episode is on choosing life. So I went through a course of treatments, which I'll talk about in another video, because it's all about chemo and radiation, and I'm not quite ready to talk about that yet. What I do want to talk about though is my decision to stop treatments, all form of pharmaceutical treatment. I do alternative methods of treatment. I have just decided that with regard to the pharmaceutical industry, I will let nature take its course. I have been warned about the consequences of that decision. They aren't pretty, so we could say that this one is the good, the bad, and the reality of it all, I guess. I finished treatments, the first round of treatments, which was chemo and radiation, I finished the chemo in August of 2023, and then I did radiation in October of 2023, and I haven't done any more forms of treatment since then. I have though been doing my own things, which I will discuss with you, and obviously in another video. But this one was a really big decision for me, and we have those big decisions throughout our life. And this one, I was told that if I didn't do any more treatment, that I would die an extremely painful death. Now, none of us want to do that. I certainly do not want to die an extremely painful death. But in the decision to choose life, that decision was made because I have decided I want to spend as many days as I can living and not being confined to bed because of things like radiation and chemotherapy, which really knock the body around. And I'm not saying to other people to not do these things. This is obviously a personal choice. It is one that I have made for me because I want to spend whatever time I have left, I want to spend it in the best ways possible, and I want to have my body in as best shape for me that I can to live the remaining days. So that is why I've titled this video Choosing Life, and life for me was stopping treatment or further treatments. They have said that they cannot save me, so I'm still under hospice care, palliative care, and that's okay. That is really okay. I can handle that. Don't get me wrong, I'm not sure how I'm going to go with the actual dying, side of things, but they have assured me I will die of cancer, and if I don't do radiation with some chemotherapy, that I will die an extremely painful death. So, cancer is a really expensive business. It costs a fortune, and the majority of people out there, even if you've got savings, you churn through them. You can go into the public system, of course, but the benefits that this country provides, they don't cover anything. They keep a shirt on your back and some food in your stomach, and that's it. I have cats which have vet bills, which have food bills, of course, and I have rates, and I have insurances, and I have car warranty fitnesses and services and all those sorts of things. This disease financially is crippling. It really is. don't get me wrong, it's not why I've decided to stop treatment, but I do wonder how long could I live for anyway, financially? So the reality is, I don't want to be stuck in bed. I don't want to be in bed being sick and too tired and too weak. As it is, my body, I don't get a full day with my body out of each day. I get so many hours every day. And that's cool, because those hours that I get, I'm okay. I get to, if I want to spend some time in the garden, I can do that. If I want to go for a walk, I can do that. And that's enough for me. Before, when I actually did the chemo treatment, which I will discuss later, it was because I thought I'd get extra time, like loads of extra time, because we would kill the cancer. It hasn't happened. So, in 2024, when I was due to start treatments again, I took my time and I said, I'm still thinking about it. And those months turned into another year where I said I was still thinking about it. But as of this day, I do not want any more treatments that just knock my body around so much that I'm in bed. I'll face whatever reality I get. If a miracle doesn't happen, and I'm sort of wondering, if a miracle was to happen, how could a miracle save a body that's had toxic waste poured down it and burnt so much? How could it recover from that kind of, miracle anyway? I read Anita Moorjani's book, and she had an NDE, a near-death experience, and I was really moved by that, so much so that I started looking into near-death experiences. And then I started thinking, gosh, the other side doesn't look so bad after all. Now, I'm not advocating to go to the other side. I'm just saying that I have decided to let nature take its course. Is it sad? Yeah, it is sad, actually. It's a hard decision. It's a tough decision to make, but it's no tougher than making the decision to carry on with treatments. That's a hard decision in itself. And that decision to not go on with treatments is a hard decision too. And of course, I've cried. Who wouldn't? You're making a decision that, shit, I could potentially die a really painful death. Can I handle that? But what I can handle is being here, the days that I am here, and being grateful that I can enjoy them. Even if it's a day that I can't do much, I can still watch, TV. I can hopefully concentrate enough to read some of a book. I can pet my cats. So, I get to live how I want to live. And there's actually another book that an ambulance guy put me onto, about mortality. And, he's a doctor, and he said that people who are facing, their mortality through, like my situation, tend to live longer without treatment, because every day that they're alive, they're living, they're choosing life. And I can relate to that. And I know people who have had treatments because they want to have more time with their family and all the rest of it, and I get that. And I don't disagree with that one iota. And you know what? Even if I did, who gives a toss? We all make our own decisions for our own lives. And we have to live with those decisions. And what might be your truth one day is not necessarily your truth another day. You might get more information, or something might happen that makes you change your mind. It certainly did for me when I ended up going down the chemo and radiation route. something happened that made me change my mind. But this time, in choosing to continue, at this stage, even a year later, I've still made the decision no. And, they can't believe how I am. The markers haven't grown as rapidly as they should have, because after chemo, the cancer cells don't really like being attacked. So they get stronger and smarter, and they work out how to grow faster. And I seem to have been in a situation where my markers aren't growing that fast. Now, whether it's because of the stuff I'm doing, who knows? Or whether it's just because I'm just simply not letting the cancer take over my mental state. Maybe that's got something to do with it. I don't know. And we'll talk about that another day. But, as sad as the decision is, whatever your decision you decide to make when it's time, do you continue or don't you? As sad as that decision is, it's also really empowering, to take control of your life, to know that you, regardless of what is going on, that you're in control. And I love it. I love the fact that I've said no. No more. But where did I get my courage from to say no? I am on my own spiritual journey, and I will discuss that because I think that's helped. But I'm going to try and keep this video quite short today. And NDEs, I watched tons of them, and I thought, why are people so scared? Why do we all have this thing that we need to just live and live and live and live? And don't get me wrong, it's not that I don't want to live, because I thank God every day that I wake up. I thank God for another day, that I'm here, that I'm breathing, that I'm alive. No matter how crappy I'm feeling or how great I'm feeling, I always thank God every single day, because I love being here. I love it all. I love the mundane chores of washing my dishes. If I've got energy, it's like, wow, I've had enough energy, I can do my dishes today. I love that. I love that I can still participate in life, no matter how small that might be some days, and how bigger it might be other days. I think it's cool. What else would I like to say before I close off for the day? I think that's it. But yeah, so I don't think I've got anything more to say about it, but I have chosen to stop treatments from the pharmaceutical industry for now, and I've had that decision for the last year. So I'm going to cut this short now, and we'll stop this video now. It's still over 10 minutes. So I have gone a bit longer than I planned to. If you like it, please hit like, and if you'd like to subscribe, I would really appreciate that. It keeps me motivated, and I would like to share the story with you. And I would like to take some of that energy that I have every day, on several days a week. I'd like to use that energy to share my journey with you of the things that I have learned. So please, if you like the video, if you want to stay up to date with the videos that come through from now on, hit subscribe. And yeah, as I just would like to repeat, this is my decision. I've got nothing against the pharmaceutical industry. I have just lived a fairly clean life with organic food and all the rest of it. And the thought of putting more toxic chemicals into my body and creating more damage. Yeah, I'm dying, so what's a bit more damage? It's enough for me to say no. And we're all different, and we all have our reasons. And None of us really have to explain our justifications to anybody else. We do what we feel right is for us, based on our circumstances, our situations, all the rest of it. And I have weighed everything up, and for me, living to the best ability I can every day is what I want. So that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. Thank you. See you next time. Bye.